Hello all, welcome to another session on Power Virtual Agents where we will be seeing how to query a SharePoint list so as to fetch the ticket status details and show that as in the SharePoint. Now the business use case for the demo is that as an end user or as an issue resolver, getting to know the open and close tickets is a very common requirement. Rather than contacting the person servicing it or without searching for the ticket details in the specific backend manually, having a Power Virtual Agent that answers your ticket related query is a productivity booster. So let's try to create a bot that will listen to the end user's questions related to the issues logged in as tickets and respond back with the details. So as to get started, we'll create a new bot and give the bot name as ticket status checker. And we'll click on create, which will provision the bot. Now, while the bot is being provisioned, let's see like the backend in SharePoint List. So we have a SharePoint List which is called ticket tracker, and we do have columns like title, which handles the title of the incident, followed by the issue details, their priority, and the status as two different other columns. And we also have columns called the assignee, resolution, date, and the ticket creator, so that we save the records specific to the details when a particular record is being created or a ticket is being created. Now we will create a bot that queries the ticket tracker list based on the ticket statuses and show the details back to the end user based on the questions or the queries that he have. Now let's head back to the Power Virtual Agents. Since the bot has been created, we will create a new blank topic and we will add few trigger words so that we can initiate the conversation with the bot. So we'll add few trigger keywords like open tickets, priority tickets, which is basically related to the ticket status queries, so that typing in any of the related queries will trigger the bot conversation. Now we can see that the trigger keywords has been added to the topic. Now the next thing that we will do is like we will add a welcome message. Followed by that, we will ask one more question to the end user so that we'll get more information on what kind of tickets the user is trying to actually query. So we'll ask a question whether he wants to view the open or the closed tickets. We will have it as a multi-choice option so that you can either choose from open or closed. And based on the options that we're entering, the option that the user chooses will actually be saved in the variable. So we will save it in the where ticket status variable. We'll just rename the variable to a friendly name, and we can see that we have two more branches that is being created with if the user chooses the open tickets, it will initiate the control or transfer the control to the left branch, or else it will actually move to the closed branch. Now again, we can further drill down, or you can actually ask further questions like, out of the open tickets, what kind of a ticket would you like to actually see? So here the details of the option, that is the open ticket status, is stored in a variable where ticket status. So we'll dynamically pick that value from the variable. So which of the open tickets would you like to view would be the output that comes as in the question when we actually work with it in the test bot. So we can have options like normal and high, so that they can actually, user can actually choose from normal or high priority tickets, so that it will try to actually fetch the open tickets which is of normal or high priority. We will rename the variable to where open priority, so that based on the user selection, we will have two more branches listed out, so that if the open tickets that is of normal priority will have the control flowing into this branch, and if it is open tickets that is of high priority, whatever task that we will be doing will be actually be listed out in this branch. Same way we will we'll ask one more question in the closed branch, so that we can further filter down closed tickets to normal and high priority. So we'll just ask a question and add the question here, and we will add the variable where ticket status, so that it will dynamically pick the closed status this time. And for the multiple choice, we will add the values as normal and high. We will add the high as the next option. So by the time we add, we will get 2 more branches listed out. So we will just rename it to where closed priority. Now again, we can have the closed tickets, which is of normal and high priority, listed in separate branches, and based on the user selection, the controller will actually flow to the respective branches. So we can see that we have now 4 different branches that is being listed out based on the ticket status, that is either open or closed, will have their respective branches. If it is open, then we'll have 2 more branches based on the normal or high priority, and if the ticket is closed, then again we'll have 2 more branches based on the priority if they are normal or high. Now in each of the branch, we will also be calling a power automate, to which we will pass in the corresponding values, that is the open ticket status as well as the priority, that is either normal or high. And using these 2 values, we will try to filter down the tickets and try to pick in the open tickets or the closed tickets or even the normal and the high priority tickets. So what we'll do next is we'll try to call an action by clicking on create a flow. This will open Power Automate in the subsequent tab, and we will add 2 variables in the flow as flow input parameters so that we can pass in the values from Power Virtual Agent. So we'll add a text input and name it as where ticket status. We're just going to accept the value as either open or closed, and we will also add another input called the where ticket priority, which will have the values being accepted as high or normal. Now the next thing is we will create or initialize a variable which will hold the markdown for holding the ticket details. We will be using an unordered list to actually show the details. So this time we will add a variable to hold the markdown for the data structure that we are going to create. We will name it as where ticket variables and rename it as add the data type as string. And following that, we will add another action, which is to get items from SharePoint List. So we will mention the SharePoint site URL from which we want to pick the SharePoint list items. So we have the details in the list ticket genie. So we'll just try to select it, and in the advanced options we will add few filter conditions so that we will pick only a subset of data that matches the condition. So in filter query, we will mention that status should be equal to whatever status is being passed on from Power Virtual Agent, and the priority should be equal to the priority that is being passed from PVA. Now with this filter query, we will be getting only the corresponding tickets having the status and priority as passed on by the user from the Power Virtual Agent. So we have added the get items action, which will return a bunch of items that matches the criteria. Next thing is we need to add an action that will loop through the data that is being returned from the SharePoint side. So we will add an apply to each action and loop through the value field that is being returned from the previous get items action, and we will add another action inside the loop, which is to append each items that matches the criteria or the status or the priority. We will actually loop through each of the items and get the details, corresponding details, and append to the variable or the markdown variable that we have created previously. So we will select the append to string variable, and we will just select the variable that we have created previously. And this time we will be creating a markdown that matches an unordered list. So you can see here the unordered list is indicated with the syntax. We will have a hyphen in the beginning of the text, and in case we want to have indentation, we will have a child intended unordered list where you'll have one level down, and we will follow the same syntax for starting the text with hyphen. So you can see that The parent is the title, followed by that you have child details like details, status, priority, and so on, which will create an intended unordered list. So this will go on a loop, and every time if there are like 5 tickets that is matching the criteria, it will go through each and every item, pick the details like title details from the previous get items action, and it will append the details to the where tickets details table, creating a list of unordered items. Thus, we have created the markdown structure for showing it back into the Power Virtual agents. Now what we'll do is like we'll create an output variable of the name var output, and we will assign the markdown variable to it so that it will output the entire markdown structure back to Power Virtual agent, and we will rename it as ticket status flow, and we will go ahead and save it. Now that the flow is saved, let's head back to Power Virtual Agent, and we will just add the call and action once again and select the recently created flow, which is ticket status flow, and pass in the ticket status values, which is the variables that we have storing the user inputs. So the ticket status and the ticket priority will be assigned, and this will be passed on to the Power Automate, which will be accepting these values in the corresponding input parameters. So same way, we will just call the corresponding flow in all the branches and pass on the same values for ticket status and priority. Let's repeat for the closed priority as well. We will mention the same flow with the same variables. And for the last branch as well, let's add the flow and mention the input parameters. So we have completed the addition of the action that will call the corresponding flow, and finally, once the flow has been completed, it will actually return back the markdown data, which we will show as a message with the variable where output will be displayed here. And we can even add some text in front of it to actually give a context of like what does it indicate. So we will just mention that the open tickets, so this branch contains the open tickets in the normal category. Same way, like we will add another message so as to show the open tickets in the high priority category. So we will just add the text and then again add the variable. And for the closed category, we will also show the normal category tickets in this branch. So we will just add a message, and we will just insert the variable that is being returned from the Power Automate, which will show the markdown data for the closed tickets which are in normal category. And finally, we will go ahead to the closed tickets which are in high priority category, and show the message using the message box. And we will again add the variable here. So this way we have completed the creation of the Power Virtual agents, and it is querying the data from SharePoint List and using a Power Automate and showing it in the chatbot. So let's go ahead and save the bot, and after which we will do a quick test to see how it works out. So we'll open the test bot window where we can try to trigger the bot using the trigger keywords. We'll just say ticket information as one of the trigger keywords. So we'll just type in ticket information and see how the bot responds. So you can see like it has triggered the bot, and it has asked the questions like would you like to see the open or closed tickets. So let's go ahead and click on open, so that it will again ask a question like, out of open tickets, would you like to see normal or high priority tickets? I would just go ahead and say high priority tickets, which means it will go ahead and fetch the SharePoint list details which is matching to the high category open tickets, and it will show the details like this. It will have a parent title, followed by that it will have the intended child details like the status, priority, and assigning as well. Now, if you want to actually get more details of other tickets, we can re-trigger the bot. This time we'll just go ahead and select closed, and we will say normal, so that it will actually, yeah, we don't have any tickets in the category, unfortunately, so maybe we'll just go ahead and search for some other category of tickets. Let's go ahead and search for open and normal this time. So we will be able to see again there is just one ticket in that particular category. So this way we can expand the ticket status querying bot to fetch more and further subset of ticket details by adding more filter conditions for the user to select from, and add more parameters as input to the flow. Currently we have just passed 2 parameters as filtering inputs, but if you want to expand with more further conditions, like say for instance we want to add another filter like assignee, so a third filter like for getting the details of tickets that is assigned to one particular person can be obtained by adding a third input filter, or by asking additional question for assignee as well. So this is more like expanding the existing functionality can be done based on the business justifications or requirements, and Power Virtual Agents basically provides us the flexibility to add instance and conditions to expand the chatbot based on the business requirements. In this video we did see like how we can use Power Virtual Agents along with Power Automate to query SharePoint List so as to fetch the ticket status details in the backend SharePoint List, and show the details as in unordered list using Markdown language. And this is one of the common scenarios where we will have to query SharePoint List and show data using Markdown language that comes up mostly in projects. And in the upcoming videos we will try to come up with more of such Power Virtual Agent scenarios to get us used to more of the business use cases, to get more hands-on with Power Virtual Agents. So we'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching and stay safe.